All right, I do believe that we are on the interwebs.
Buttons!
All right. Hello, and welcome to Critical Recovery. This is a 5th edition homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign. I am joined by a bunch of awesome people this evening, including Beth, Chris, Ellie, Io, Jen. My name is Crash, and I will be your DM for the evening. So, what happened last week?
We killed things. Crunchy mechanical things. Do not eat.
Oh, right.
There was property damage.
Much property damage, including
Warren Cuboiding.
sparks from what might be a rocket.
Also, Morley is very smart.
Everyone else was like, let's fight these mechanical things that look like cockroaches with wolf heads made out of steampunk stuff. And Molly's like, we're right underneath a rocket engine. What if I just turn this off for 4 hours?
Right, yes. Control flames is a wonderful thing.
Yes. Control flames to Morley is prestidigitation to Meepo.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, prestidigitation and friends. Mm-hmm. Meepo wasn't just one cantrip.
Yeah, Meepo was pretty good with 2. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Meepo learned other things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So there were other things that happened. You had the aftermath of an earthquake, which apparently was caused by the rocket test firing. You encountered a lot of library staff who were all part of the custodial department. They don't really like to be called janitors. They're custodial staff. Some of which were tied to chairs and very upset if you tried to untie them. 3 of which attempted to attack you.
Tough luck.
You murdered one of them instantly with a crit from an Eldritch Blast, but they got better. It's okay. They were doing death saves, and they were stabilized, but never mind about that. And then you went in the basement, and you did the whole control flames and fought the things that I have been calling skitterwidgets.
I love that name.
It is actually the name from the campaign that we're doing. So, because unlike most sessions that we do, I didn't entirely homebrew this. I'm modifying something from the Candlekeep Mysteries set of adventures. Heavily modified because you're not in Candlekeep. And right now, it would require too much plot modification for you to be in Candlekeep because there are kobolds on the moon. And I love that makes total sense in this campaign setting. But for... But anyone who hears that is just like, wait, what?
Where else do you keep your kobolds?
Anywhere they
Under
go.
a barn.
Under a barn was actually a place for a while.
And under a temple to Bahamut was another location.
Was another one, yes.
But for the most part, recently on the moon. So, right at the end of our last session, Thandrin was having a bad time. Thandrin kept getting stunned by the tail of one of the skitterwidgets as it was dragging him away from the combat towards the center of the room. Thandrin, would it be safe to say that if you are repeatedly getting stunned by lightning attacks that you might have a bit of difficulty with remaining conscious?
Probably.
Okay. There is a brief moment where everything seems to slow down again, and there is a lich standing next to you. You've seen this lich before. It's the lich of your dreams. Wrong dream.
What a terrible first date.
Okay, well, Ryan's got inspiration. Look, I don't see you as... I don't think of you like that. You're more of a test experiment. Never mind. It doesn't say any of that.
What do you want? Because I'm getting my brains punched in at the moment.
Yes, you do seem to be having a bad day.
Yep. This day was going to be so exciting, and I was happy. I woke up really excited for today, and then today happened. And I'm not excited anymore.
I've had days like this. I honestly feel sorry for you. And what in the world is that?
That's one of those days.
That is a day. What the... Oh my goodness!
I think that's the beginning of the Hidden Abyss campaign.
I think that is the beginning of the Hidden Abyss campaign, and the middle of it, and several parts of the end.
Yeah, that's about right.
There's certain parts of that I'm pretty sure are how Chris's last character died.
To rub it in.
Oh.
But never mind about that. Anyway, I've been doing some research for you. Card catalog number 3141569.
Good,
Anyway.
because I imagine we're probably going to get kicked out of this place.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, you look very busy. Hate to disturb you. Thought that would be useful. Have a wonderful time.
Oh, this ending.
I gotta get going. Love you, bye. And
See, this is why we're confused about the liches.
I'm telling you,
Yeah, I feel like let's just keep
an
on to my
underling
character.
an underling of Glomulero told him the proper way of saying goodbye in this era is saying love you, bye.
I'm sorry, this Lich has been flirting with me since day one. It's weird.
The DM would like to remind everyone that the DM literally does not know how to flirt. So it's unintentional.
Okay with it, but it's weird.
You're dating the Grim Reaper?
He's had weirder dates.
That, by the way, is an Adventure Zone quote. One of the main characters does end up dating the Grim Reaper.
I know this, but only because I see a lot of fan art of them on my Tumblr dashboard, and you know what? Good for them. I have no idea what the plot of all that is, except it might involve universe travel and Spelljammer. But
kind of, sort of. They homebrewed that a lot more.
Apocalypse.
And there was an apocalypse. Yes, that did happen.
But mostly I see art of the very fancily dressed gay wizard and his boyfriend, the Grim Reaper.
Yes. and his twin sister who's dating someone named Barry Blue Jeans.
Who are both liches.
Yes. But never mind about that. That is a different campaign entirely done by the McElroy brothers and their dad. In this particular case, however, we ended the last session by saying that you finish off the skitterwidgets. There was one remaining, and we'd been playing for 3 hours when the game normally goes for 2 hours, so I said we're just going to say you do the thing, and they die. And right at the end of that, you start to hear chirping noises coming from the areas of the wall, which I have a map here for you, if I can get it.
Maybe it's mice.
Bird chirping or mechanical thing chirping?
It sounds mechanical. It sounds like two pieces of metal rubbing together, kind of, sort of.
Bad mice.
Mechanical mice, maybe?
So, if you take a look at the map that I've shared, you're in this big round room. Well, it's not that big. It's 30 feet diameter. And the ground is still glowing a little bit, but everyone wearing footwear, it's not an issue. I'm assuming you're all wearing boots.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not entirely...
Is the goblin wearing boots?
What about the
That's a good question.
unconscious
That's up to you.
human?
What's that?
What about the unconscious human that probably has his face lying on the floor?
Well, it was... You blacked out for a brief moment while you were being zapped, and then you came conscious right away again.
Okay.
That was adding flavor to it. There was nothing in the game mechanics that actually had you rendered unconscious. But if you take a look, there's two spots on the map where the wall is clearly not part of a circle anymore. So it sort of caved in a little bit, revealing hollowed out areas. And there is chirping noise coming from both sides.
Burp is going to point to one of the destroyed skitterwidgets and go, baby ones?
Oh, no.
Okay, we need to get into the wall.
Does
There
anyone
are
have
doors
some
over
light
there,
down
right?
there?
Does what?
There's a set of iron doors that are over on the east, yes. But the chirping is not coming from the doors. The chirping is coming from the parts of the wall that have collapsed.
Is there light coming from there?
No. The light in this room comes from the still glowing metal above you and parts of the ground.
Burp is probably standing on the debris of skitterwidgets because, I mean, she's got calloused feet, but I don't know if she's got boots worthy of the name.
Someone
Light.
willing
Now
to
the
ins-
light is coming from my sword.
Thank you. Now I can actually see when we go in.
All right. Let's start moving the rocks.
Okay. So as soon as you go over, it becomes very clear. It doesn't even require a perception check because they're making noise. Which set of rocks do you go to?
Is there chirping coming from both?
Yes.
Northeast.
Okay. You see one of these. It looks like a miniature version of the things you were fighting.
It is a baby skitterwidget.
And it is chirping at you.
Burp was right!
Hey there.
Burp will go and
Good
try and
little,
catch
bug, drake, robot thing.
So, if you're going to try to catch one, Burp, then I would like you to make a grapple check.
Try and catch it without harming it, if they're small enough.
Okay, that would be a grapple check. So,
Alright,
basically,
load the
give me a
sheet,
strength
load the
check
sheet.
or a dexterity check.
I will as soon as the sheet loads.
Ah.
Come on. Grind. Turn the invisible crank. There we go. Let's see. Strength or dexterity check. Let's go with dexterity. There.
Okay, well, I got a 5, so your 12 is sufficient.
Yay!
I got a 3
How big
plus
are
2.
they?
They're considered small, but you're also considered small. So it's about burp sized.
Burp is going to sort of catch one, and she would like to hold its tail and sort of hug the thing because maybe they can be tamed.
Okay. So that is exactly what you're doing, and it's chirping a little bit and struggling a little bit, but you have a very firm grip. There is also chirping coming from the other area that the walls caved in.
What counts as a trait for these things? Armor polish?
I have no idea. I've never seen one of these before. These little ones? Like, how do robots reproduce? I don't understand.
When a mommy skitterwidget and a daddy skitterwidget love each other very much.
Usually it involves gnome artificers.
They get themselves a set of blacksmith tools, and
Are you sure
Actually-
it's not a queen skitterwidget and then she makes a lot of drone skitterwidgets?
actually
are not the Borg.
they go to Kmart and they buy a kit. Usually there's a blue light special going on.
I mean,
You know what? My life is already so weird. I'm gonna get a bit of armor polish on my finger and wave it at the other chirping thing.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh, no.
Let's not roll D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond hates me. Oh, that was a 2 on the die. That's a 4.
the die
Doesn't
hates you
seem
too.
interested in your finger.
Yeah, that's logical.
I'm gonna try and open the doors.
I would like to be behind her while she's opening the door.
Okay. So, let's see.
Full staff ready to smack on something to come at us.
So, Zuda goes over to open the doors while Thandrin is not cowering behind Zuda. It's more of a strategic positioning, poised to strike, but also behind Zuda. And these doors,
I mean, it's reasonable. Zuda's got the chainmail and the shield.
also true, and Thandrin has the reach, just like
Yes.
Donatello in any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
Indeed.
The pause right now is because I'm looking up the description. Okay, so these iron doors do have an impressive looking lock on them, but they are not locked. So you can just go up and dramatically push the doors open, and beyond the double door is a dark 20-foot wide hallway with 3 iron doors leading off of it. 2 on the right side of the hall and 1 on the left. Out of the darkness, a giant wingless arthropod, 10 feet tall and 30 feet long, is basically there at the end of the hallway. The creature's head has 2 long feelers and multifaceted eyes, and its carapace gleams with a silvery sheen. Its tapered
See,
body...
there is a queen one.
This does
Sorry.
not appear to be mechanical. Its tapered body swishes from side to side as it crawls toward you. I would say this might be an initiative time.
Okay.
Oh no.
I have rolled a 3 plus 3 for a 6.
I go tomorrow.
I go at the same time as you, I think.
Burp got a
There's-
5.
Oh, no,
Those
you got a 0.
temporary hit
Never
points
mind.
from the temporary hit
Purpose
points from
is-
last time don't last today,
And
right?
wrestling.
Ryan,
Wow.
remember you
That
have
was with
advantage.
That was with advantage.
Oh,
That roll was with advantage. That was
was
two
2-1.
natural ones. Wow.
No, hold on. I also rolled a natural 1. Wait, who rolled? Did everyone roll a nat 1?
No, I
No.
rolled a 3.
Okay,
Not
you
much
rolled a nat
better.
1, but you had a +4. Ryan has a
but my
negative
point-
1.
My point is, we all rolled terribly.
We're all staring at this creature like, what is this?
You didn't. You
Oh,
didn't
no.
all roll terribly because Quincy got a 19.
Oh my.
The dog is going before the players.
So Quincy
that-
assumes battle posture and starts barking at this thing.
I mean, that's right.
That seems about
That
right.
tracks, yeah.
Yes. So it could be Quincy is doing his best to protect you, or he found a stick, or the neighbors are using fireworks again, and it's not even July 4th. Why are they still using fireworks?
I would like to know.
Or Quincy saying, hey, dog, dog, bark.
Oh, don't forget, and this is probably on your character sheet still, but we haven't had a rest, so you do still have your temporary hit points from last time.
Oh, cool.
This is
I was trying
correct.
to figure that out. Yeah. All right. Good.
This arc will end before you've had a long rest.
Okay.
I will just share that. That's table talking, but still. Okay. What I probably should do is share the part of the map that you're in. There we go. And remember, each of those squares is 5 feet. Oh, that's a wonderful GIF. Thank you, Ellie.
That's a very big silverfish.
Yes, it is a very big silverfish.
Sit on the internet.
And it uses its movement to approach you
Slam
because it
door,
did not roll a natural 1 for its initiative.
Oh my.
And then we wait for about a year and a half. By the way, I also added initiative for the kitty widgets. They and Morley are all going at the same time.
Okay.
Oh dear.
The kitty widgets.
Yes, that is what they're called. There's skitter widgets and kitty widgets. Now, one of them, unless I'm told that Burp Let's Go, is still being grappled by Burp. The other one is still hanging out in the rebel.
Burp was grabbing it and telling it that it's good and cute and should be a friend.
Okay. Morley, it is currently your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to hit that monstrosity with an Eldritch Blast or two.
Okay.
If I can.
Give me a roll.
Got 19 to hit.
Okay. Roll your
All right.
damage.
Okay, damage is 7 on that one.
Okay.
I think I get 2. I get 2 beams.
You get
Do it
2.
again. Yeah. Okay. Gonna do it again. That's a 12 to hit,
Okay. Roll your damage.
and the damage is 4.
Okay. Do me a favor. Mm-hmm. Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation check. Got an 8 plus 2 for a 10.
Okay. I need to check something here. All right. So you've tossed some Eldritch Blasts its way, and it doesn't seem to have slowed it down.
Uh-oh. This is a problem.
Okay. So Kitty Widget A is the Kitty Widget that's currently being grappled by Burp, and it spends its turn moving its legs feebly in an attempt to escape. Kitty Widget B continues to chirp for Mommy and Daddy. Or Mommy and Mommy. Or parental unit and parental
Well, there
unit.
were
We
4
haven't
of
really
them.
gendered them.
There were like 4 of the things, weren't there?
There were 4
Oh, no.
adults.
Did
And
they
there
have?
are-
Was it two breeding pairs, or were they just the guards for the egg chamber?
I mean, you weren't here at the time, so you don't know.
Oh.
And it is now time for Burp and Thandrin,
Go for it.
because you both got 5 on the initiative.
You should go first because Burp is going to have to decide what to do with the pet that she caught.
Okay. So just to clarify, there's a big one and a couple of little ones.
There is a giant silverfish image for scale that has been posted in the chat that is lumbering towards you. It spent its turn moving towards you, and it looks like it's going to be in melee range when it has its next turn. There's also 2 kitty widgets, one of which is currently being grappled by Burp and not really combating Burp. and the other one is still hanging out in the rubble, but they're present, so I added them to the initiative. Also because I built this initiative tracker before the game started.
I'm gonna run at this thing with my quarterstaff and smack it twice.
All right, give me a roll to hit.
26.
All right,
And
give me your
13.
damage. Okay, give me an investigation check.
14.
Your staff goes right through it.
It's not real.
And not in the squishy.
Not in the squishy sense, in the, like, air.
I just walk into the thing.
You all watch Thandrin sacrifice his life nobly to feed this silverfish so that you can all escape. Wait, no, his legs are still there, coming down and touching the floor underneath it.
And then I walk out. Guys, it's an illusion.
The silverfish gets to the end of the hallway and vanishes.
That is very weird. So someone
Who makes a giant illusionary silverfish?
someone who wants to hide whatever's behind these doors.
Really small silverfish?
Can
Distraction?
Is there anything else in this room? Is there doors? Is there other...
There are 3 doors.
Right. Can I go one at a time and check each of the doors, make sure no magical seal or any traps or anything, just to be safe?
You're going to have to make a roll for each door, but yes, you may.
At the same time, I'd like to check the end of the corridor.
16, 18, 25.
Okay. Now I got to check the stats for 3 different rooms. Because you're actually going forward with the plot, so I've got to check the adventure. Why can't you be more like the Monday game that just goes off the rails instantly?
Because I like story, goddammit.
Vandrin's like, we have these rails. They're nice. We should stay on these. These are how we get nice things. And also get stunned repeatedly by a giant robotic wolf cockroach thing. But never mind about that part. Okay, so the first door does not appear to have any traps or anything. The second door, which is the door to the north, the only door that's at the north, also does not appear to have any traps and is unlocked. And the third door also appears to not currently be trapped. Or I should probably say you don't see any traps.
Oh, that's different.
I'm glad you noticed.
Can anyone do a magical spook? I don't have to detect magic or anything.
Nope.
You detect a green circle.
We have 2 magic users and neither of you can.
What part of -1 intelligence modifier and not proficient in Arcana?
I was talking about the cleric and the warlock.
Oh.
I can counterspell something, but that's it.
That
How's
might be handy, actually.
Right. Which one you want me
Hold
to try?
Hold that, because I think these 2 are fine.
Okay.
This one's the weird one. Was I able to determine with the 25 if it was locked?
None of the doors appear to be locked.
None of them are locked.
There's the weird one.
They appear to be of identical construction.
If
Okay.
any kind of... When I try and open this door, bud, if any kind of magical
Don't-
glyph appears...
Don't try to open the
counterspell.
door. Don't try to open the door.
But it's weird, and I want to check
I'm
it
going
out.
to open the door.
Which door is weird?
Oh.
But I can literally evade things. Literally evade things.
Is there anything at the end of the corridor?
No.
Okay.
Alright, but I have Death Ward on, so...
Which might be handy in a fight, because you're the one that's going to be tempted. I open the door
Alright,
hoping
go ahead.
Morley's ready.
Which
Okay, ready to
The
go.
one that was Effie.
door? There are no doors that are iffy more than other doors. They all appear to be identical
but
construction.
With the description that you gave in regards to the traps, the one that was Effie on the trapping.
I
know
was
it's not
saying
physically
for
trapped,
all
like-
of your rolls, you don't see any traps.
You don't see any traps.
Yes, exactly. So,
But I'm not saying that any door looked more iffy than the others.
the one that I got the 25 on and you said very clearly don't see. So when
I
you clarified
I
yourself
revised my statement to cover all 3 doors. My apologies if I did not make that clear.
Okay.
So which of the 3 doors would you like to examine first? Because you have 3 available.
I'm more confident the one I got a 25 on, so the third one.
Okay, the third one. You're gonna make me scroll halfway. How dare you make me look things up? This is why I homebrew, because I can just make things up partway through. And I'm totally ignoring the fact that I've made up half of this adventure anyway. Okay.
Yeah, well, they make me scroll in the Star Wars game all the time.
There we go. All right. So you open up the door that you got the 26 on. 8 lanterns hang from the ceiling in this spacious workshop, filling the area with light and shadow. Marble molding and columns embellish the stone walls, while the far wall is made of riveted iron plates with an iron door set in the middle of it. A copper sign bolted to the door reads "Control Room" in common. The room contains 5 stone tables that hold unfinished mechanical constructs, all in various stages of completion. Components and parts are scattered across the tables and floor. Skittering around in the debris are three creatures that look like oversized dog-headed cockroaches made of articulated metal. Oh, those look very familiar.
How big are these?
They are medium-sized, so they're as big as the ones you were fighting last week.
More adults.
Yes.
The door.
Is Burp still carrying a kitty widget?
Burp has probably tried to pick up the kitty widget and bring it along, yes.
Oh, when you grappled it, I assumed you were picking it up, and now you're like a child carrying around a puppy that is a bit too large for the child to carry, but they're carrying it anyway because puppy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
At least that was my headcanon.
Yep. And calling it a good critter.
Okay. Well, I need to make rolls. I need to make 3 rolls.
Oh, I'm assuming we're rolling for initiative.
Possibly. But give me a second here. Oh. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna have to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? To speed things up, and I'm saying to speed things up because one, we did start a little bit late, but 2, and more importantly, I'm remembering the 3 hours of gameplay from last week. And I haven't edited that episode yet. Let's just use the initiative from last time. How about that?
All right. I think I had a...
Can we not? Can we actually not?
Okay, fine. Let's redo this.
Okay, we will redo this.
Different initiative.
There we go.
Now there's some initiative.
Okay.
There's
now
some initiative.
I have a 21.
I got a nat 20!
What did I?
Woo!
18!
No. Bad D&D Beyond.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No data was lost,
Phew.
but because I hadn't started typing in numbers yet. So Ryan got a 19, Zuda got a 9.
I think I did it wrong. Hold on. Let's do it again. Okay, this one I've got a 9. I thought I saw a 21 somewhere, and I was incorrect. Okay, numbers.
Well,
sorry.
your first roll was a 4 for initiative.
Was it a 4?
It
Okay,
did-
then
it
do
did
that one.
say-
I'm overwhelmed with numbers at the moment, so yeah, do
Understandable.
that. Mm-hmm.
But you're the healer, right? So it's good that you go later.
I'm not a healer.
Good.
The DM just looks directly at the camera. The camera's off because this is an audio-only format, but the DM still looks directly at the camera. And where is Burp? Burp got a 21.
That's right, I saw the 21.
Burp got
Okay.
blackjack.
Got lost.
The question is, does Burp hold or does Burp ask to be hit again? Does Burp understand the blackjack rules?
No. Leak the card.
Okay, so
Well, that's
Fandrin.
one way to win the game.
Monk goes first.
Yes. Now, there's one skitter widget that is approaching the party. There are 2 that are kind of holding back.
Okay, Does the one that's approaching us look like it's going for us to attack?
Yes.
Okay.
You are very familiar with the way it is poising its tail.
Okay. I am going to...
Perhaps too familiar with how it is poising its tail.
Yeah. I'm going to run up and do 2 unarmed strikes at it as my main attacks. Pop. 12 and 21.
The 12 does not hit, but the 21 does. Now, question, how long does Bless last?
A minute.
Okay, so at this point, Bless would not be functioning still.
Yeah, Bless would be long gone. 7 damage.
Okay, I need to make sure I put that damage in for the skitter widget and not the kitty widget.
I am also going to spend a key point and do patient.
Okay. You won't have to wait long. Burp, it is your turn. You are currently holding a kitty widget.
Burp, I suggest that you give them the kitty widget.
That is in fact what Burp is about to do. She will sort of go, catch, and toss the kitty widget to the one who is approaching.
Huh. This is one of the... there are specific things that the party can do where I have to make rolls for the skitter widgets. This is not one of them. Forcing a DM to improvise?
I'm so cruel.
I know. So you toss the kitty widget towards the skitter widget. The DM is marveling at the words coming out of the DM's mouth. The kitty widget hits the ground and sort of slides under the legs of the skitter widget, and it moves in a position where the party's not going to be able to get at the kitty widget. But it looks like it is still poising to strike.
Curses.
Yes, because the DM rolled a nat 1.
Curses!
Usually you want the DM to roll a nat 1.
Not that time. That was obviously a reaction roll.
Okay. Ryan,
Yes.
what would you like to do?
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, Thandrin is punching a skitter widget. Burp threw a child at the skitter widget. Actually, Burp
Kids
could use a
bounce.
bonus action to rage if Burp wanted to.
Burp will probably be raging upon realizing that the skitter widget did not, move to just sort of be defensive about the kid or whatever.
You did decide to throw a child at it.
This is true.
Yes.
Kids bounce. Burp knows this. Burp was a kid,
Burp still is technically a kid.
Yeah.
and Burp bounces.
Burp has inspiration. There are 2 skitter widgets that are hanging back and not attacking. There's only 1 skitter widget attacking. Or at least looks like it's going to attack. It has not attacked yet.
Alright. I want to activate Radiant Soul.
Okay.
And as my movement, can I fly over things and land in front of the 2 that haven't done things yet?
Probably. What's your movement again? Actually, no. Even if you weren't doing Radiant Soul, your movement is fine for this. I'll say that. So you're flying. I'm going to say the ceilings are high enough that you can do this without provoking an attack of opportunity because you're out of range.
Excellent. And I'm going to land in front of those 2. And I am low on spells and sorcery points. I am not going to quicken a spell. I am going to use my bonus action to use Second Wind. And I am going to... Which one of these is a D10? That's a D8, so that's a D10. Apparently I am only going to regain 3 hit points. Try it.
It's 3 hit points you didn't have before.
Yep.
3 hit points has led to combat going for an entirely new round. So, never mind about that. Anything else?
Nope, that was my action, my bonus action, and my movement.
Alrighty. Good Doggo's turn. Quincy does a fearsome bark. That's going to require a wisdom saving throw. Actually, yeah, it's still going to need a wisdom saving throw. Because, fun fact, of all the things that are listed here for conditioned immunities, fear isn't one of them. But that's a pass. And that is... Oh, wait, never mind. I see what that is. The bark does nothing. They are not evil, so the bark does nothing. All right, it is the kitty widget's turn. It uses its movement to go and hide behind the 2 that are hanging back. This can evoke an attack of opportunity if Ryan is interested in doing so.
Huh, what?
The little baby runs between your legs to hide behind the 2 adults. Do you hit it as it goes past?
No, I do not.
That was my assumption, but I wanted to check. It's sure not appearing in this film because you left it in the other room. All right, Zuda, you're up.
I'm holding my action.
Okay. Skitterwidget A is going to multi-attack. Thandrin is right there, and he punched this thing. So, of course, that's a 10, and that's a nat 20.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, apparently, the way to defeat Thandrin is...
Did you roll those at disadvantage or at patient defense?
Oh... Well, the 10 I don't think hits at all anyway.
No.
The nat 20 got turned into a 16.
That's the number.
Okay. Well, it's not a crit. Actually, why am I rolling damage? I usually do. You're going to take 6 points of piercing damage, 10 points of lightning damage, and make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, no.
Congratulations, you are stunned. Again.
Again.
Oh.
I'm gonna go downstairs. I'll be right back.
Why does it keep doing this to Thandrin?
Sadist.
Because he's a monk, it's payback for all the stunning strike.
Oh my gosh, yes, the first 2 seasons. The first 2 seasons of Pack Tactics, everything was stunned. Mm-hmm. I recall there was one thing where you were fighting 2 groups that were on opposite sides of a crossroads in a tunnel, and he was using boots of speed to move between them, and he was stunning people on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, Morley.
Okay, so I could see that... I assume I could see that Thandrin looks like he's stunned again, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to throw some Eldritch Blasts at the creature that has stunned him.
Okay.
Okay, so first one... 16 to hit.
We'll miss.
Ooh, let me try again. Oh, that's a 3. It comes out to a 9. I've missed both of them. Okay. I have hit the wall behind them or something.
You did your best. It is Thandrin's turn. Thandrin is stunned. Then his turn ends. Thandrin is no longer stunned. It is Burp's turn.
Burp is not going to rage yet, I think, actually.
Well, you said you were raging at the end of your last turn.
I was thinking about it.
All right.
Burp would like very much to go up and smack the one that was attacking Thandrin and tell it bad.
Okay.
Just on the very vague hope that perhaps they're dogs.
Okay. What do you smack it with?
Burp is just going to do a punch.
Okay. So...
Unarmed strike.
All right.
And probably not do it much if it hit at all.
I will say with a 10, let's have the flavor be, yes, you successfully smack it on the nose, but it's made of metal. So...
Ow.
Yeah.
Burp's hand stings.
This is the type of move where you follow up by saying, this skitterwidget can fit so many Thandrin stuns in it. Which, you're not wrong. Yes. But it does no damage at all.
Just going to try to tell it bad, stop that, and the very bare hope that maybe for once, because the other 2 aren't attacking yet.
This is true.
And the baby was cute. Maybe they were just defending.
That is in the description for the skitterwidgets and the kitty-widgets, by the way. If you look at the stats for the skitterwidgets, it actually says it's made of metal and bears a passing resemblance to a giant dog-headed cockroach. No 2 skitterwidgets look exactly alike, but all are surprisingly cute. That is a verbatim description.
Well, if it attacks after that, then Burp is definitely going to be doing some rage.
Well, and also, cute is a matter of opinion. I imagine Thandrin has a very different opinion about whether or not they're cute at this point. Ryan.
The 2 I'm looking at have not attacked anything?
No, they seem to be in a defensive posture, protecting the child.
Did Thandrin attack this one first?
It was rushing forward looking like it was about to attack, but Thandrin got a 24 in initiative, so technically yes.
Okay, but it's a technically.
I'm technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I am still very concerned we might have made a mistake. I am apparently being picked up by Beth's mic.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to note we are not in the same room.
That's interesting.
And that's a 28 from Zuda. That's 5d8. What were you rolling? Or is that just playing with the dice?
This is preparation.
I am intrigued, and I'm not terrified because I'm here for this content.
I'm gonna regret this.
That's the name of my next campaign.
I am going to go along with Burp's apparent desire to adopt skitterwidgets, and I'm going to try to grab the big one's tail. Can I try to grapple the skitterwidget?
Yes, you may attempt to grapple the skitterwidget.
Oh, that's
the one
so
that's
cool.
attacking Thandrin.
Yes. You specifically aiming for the tail?
Yes, because the tail's what keeps stunning Thandrin. Yes, I am aware that this is almost certainly going to lead to the tail stunning me.
If you don't manage to grapple it, possibly. But you need to make your roll first.
I regret to inform you that I do not know how to that was not me grappling. That was me accidentally hitting something.
That was you casting Firebolt, which would be an interesting method for grappling. That is the Zeely method for grappling.
Yes.
No, the Zeely method for grappling involves casting Investiture of Flames, which makes you on fire.
This does allow me to use my most recently favorited GIF. But that's a lot of fire, isn't it? But in all seriousness, make a strength or dexterity check to see if you grapple it. I've already rolled for the skitterwidget's contesting attempt.
Straight strength or dexterity, not athletics?
For this, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. I do not know grappling.
I barely know it. I ad hoc it most of the time.
That's a 7. I'm going to use my inspiration. 11.
Ties go to the attacker.
Oh ho!
Congratulations, you have successfully grappled a skitterwidget tail.
You have a tiger by the tail.
No, a skitterwidget. These are worse.
Close. Their tails are sappy.
Sit!
In my head canon, when you say sit, you give the tail a yank and pull it a little bit off its feet, so now that its tail end is on the ground.
Yes, that is exactly what I was imagining myself doing.
Not so much a scene from Inuyasha.
Possibly with one hand holding the tail and one hand trying to push its haunches down.
That is exactly what I was picturing in my brain, actually. There we go. It is Quincy's turn. Quincy licks Thandrin's face. Thandrin, you heal 10 points.
Okay.
It is the kitty widget's turn. It chirps excitedly. You're not appearing in this film. Zuda, it is your turn. You've been doing some prep work.
I have.
Well,
I
would you like
have.
to share with the rest of the class?
I am hoping that 37 is enough.
That's a lot.
What is it 37 of?
I cast sleep in a place where it will only catch the party members and the attacking skitterwidget.
Sleep doesn't target specific.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere in a place within 90 feet of me that I choose.
The whole room
What?
is not 90 feet across, but it's a 20-foot sphere, you said. So you said 30, what's the number?
37.
37. Does anyone have 37 hit points or less?
No.
Possibly
53.
Quincy.
Ooh,
Oh, dear.
you're right. Let me look at Quincy. Well, he's CR1. Nope. Quincy has 39 hit points.
Oh. How many does Burp have?
A lot more.
53 at the moment.
Good.
A D12 for hit points.
Yeah, good. Barbarians.
And a high
are fun.
constitution. So nothing happens.
They're mechanical.
And
Well,
also
also
have more than 37
37
hit
is not
points.
enough.
It was worth a try.
It was worth a try. Everything is a learning opportunity. Skitterwidget A is currently grappled. It is going to use its action to try to get ungrappled. Ryan, give me a contesting roll.
All right. That is a 19 plus 2 for
You
21.
don't need to add anything. It is doing its best to try to not be grappled. Its best is not enough.
Come on, sit, stay.
It does not appear to appreciate your commands. Roll for rolled up newspaper. Can anyone prestidigitate a little squirt bottle?
I don't think so.
Yes.
What if I had
well.
Where's that periaptive endless water?
I was about to say, I think the person with the squirt bottle is Chroma.
The idea occurred to me to have a periaptive endless water, but instead of water, like keep all the stats the same, but instead of water, have it be glitter.
That'd be fun.
Oh, that's
People got glitter everywhere.
the jug that dispenses mayonnaise.
No, because mayonnaise is never shot out of.
Oh, okay.
But if you have
you want a glitter cannon.
Yeah, something that if you are in the vacuum of space, you can use it as a method of propulsion. I would, of course, be giving this to the 7-foot-tall tabaxi child with ADD that happens to be in the Monday game. Because I love this game, and for some reason, I love instilling the terror upon the players that I would never want in my art classroom. I have said this before. I have taught oil pastel lessons in a room with carpeting and no sink to kindergarten students.
Wow.
And ended with clean tables.
Did you coat the tables with newspaper?
No.
First?
All I did was explain the importance of making sure the oil pastels got back in the boxes. It did take like 5 minutes for me to explain it, but I explained that first, and then we were fine. And I will not touch glitter.
Wow.
I'll tell you a story about glitter when we're done.
So, looking at this, that's Skitterwidget A's turn. B and C are still holding defensive formation, since no one's going after them or the baby. Morley.
Okay, so we have most of them not attacking us, right?
There's one that seems to be hostile, but they are currently in a holding
Grappled.
pattern thanks to a certain ASMR.
Okay. Huh. And the door on the other end says control room?
Yes.
Or a sign does?
There's I believe I said it was a copper sign that
think
said
so.
control room above it.
That sounds interesting. And the rest don't seem to want to fight, so I'm going to walk to the door and see if I can open it.
Okay. I love this game so much. All right, so we have not resolved what's happening in this room, but we're going to find out about the next room now.
I don't have to open it all the way. I mean...
Yes, but you are opening it. And this
I
is
am
not...
opening it.
Please understand, this is not in any way the DM complaining about this. The DM is loving this.
Ah, good. Okay.
All right, this chamber contains an iron safe roughly 5 feet on a side and a low metal console with a slanted top. The safe's thick door stands open on its iron hinges. The console, which is securely bolted to the floor, has a countdown timer and a blinking red button built into it.
Oh, no.
Suspended above the console are 4 wireframe windows, each displaying a projected image, some of which you recognize as rooms you've been in already. There appears to be a gnome wearing the same custodial orange robes that every other custodian has been wearing, that is on his hands and knees looking around piles of books and stuff that are in this room, going, "Where is it? Where is it?" And then he notices that someone has opened the door. Mm-hmm. And what do you say we take a short break?
Okay.
I'm going to press some buttons. Okay, we're back. We're still in initiative. And Morley, you have used your action to open a door to find a gnome on the other side.
Right.
You broke on through to the other side.
I did. I didn't have to break this one, but anyway, I'm here.
No, you,
so
you didn't break anything, actually. You turned something off earlier.
All right.
But so far as the party's concerned, you have done very little warranty voiding.
Oh, good.
Yes.
So there is something with a countdown happening in here?
Yes, there is what appears to be a console with like a giant illusionary screen with numbers that are counting down.
What's the number at now?
That's a very good question. Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Wait, we're back on?
We are back on, yes.
I got 12 plus 2 for 14.
Okay. Well, it's definitely a number, and it's definitely going down. But they're not using, like, hours or seconds or minutes. Apparently, they've invented their own method of telling time.
Oh.
Okay, so
I was a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed that the result of the investigation check wasn't the number of seconds remaining.
No. Well, that's just it. They're not using seconds, so it's hard to tell. It's like at the end of the first Predator movie when you see the thing that's obviously a countdown timer, but it's not using numbers, so you can't tell how long you have. Only you should probably run now.
Oh, okay. So has this gnome person seen me yet?
Yes, they have seen you.
Okay.
But they used their action to try to search for something. So,
They did. I don't know what they're searching for.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm thinking that since I turned off the sparks from the rocket before, that maybe this is the console that launches it. So I think I'm going to try to break it.
Okay. Well, you do have an action you can use.
I do have an action.
I will allow. Technically speaking, I think I said that you used your action to open the door. I'll have that be interacting with an object, which is also allowable as a free action. It doesn't count as an action or a bonus action. So it wasn't locked. The door wasn't locked. So I'm allowing this. So go ahead and use your action. What are you going to do?
I got to figure out which one I can do. What would work the best? I'm thinking Eldritch Blast, because it's like energy, crackling energy.
I was looking up this GIF while you were saying that.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to roll for that. Oh, that's a 3, and it becomes a 9. That's probably not enough, maybe? I don't know.
You hit the console, nothing happens.
Okay, I'm going to try again.
It's almost like it's made out of metal.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have a 16. Can metal be hurt by a 16?
Go ahead and roll some damage.
Yay! All right. What did I get? I can't see it. Oh, it's an 8.
Okay. I will keep a note of that.
Okay.
The timer's still going.
Oh, okay.
All right, and we're up to the start of the initiative with Thandrin. You have an upset-looking skitterwidget in front of you, which is currently unable to stun you, thanks to Ryan.
And is not asleep, darn it.
Yes.
You were going, come on, it's time for bed. It's the struggle that every parent has, where you really want them to lay down and go to sleep, but no, they want to stun the monk.
Told it bad and stopped that, and,
Yes.
Yeah, that
16 does not hit.
Does a 22 hit, though? The first one was a 22.
Yes, very much so.
And then I'll do Flurry of Blows.
And 11 will not hit.
It was a 9 and an 11. They both miss.
Yes, they do. All right. Next
I
up
feel
is
like
Burp.
we're sending mixed messages. Burp wants to grab the thing, wants to grapple its jaws to hold the jaws closed.
All right. Give me a grapple check.
Can I use dexterity on this one?
Whichever stat you want to use, strength or dexterity is allowed.
Let's go with the dex. 15?
Versus a 17. You do not manage to grapple its mouth. It's the equivalent of saying, what's out of your mouth? Spit it out, but it keeps moving its head so you can't.
Sorry, I'm laughing at this.
Yeah, that.
I'm...
That's not how you ride a cow.
No, it's not how you do a lot of things. It's how you make poor life choices.
Yeah.
I'm going to correct that. That is how you very briefly ride a cow.
Okay.
Okay,
fair.
that's accurate.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's valid. That's a
That
valid
was
statement.
riding or bouncing, but, well... Burp is probably saying things along the lines of close mouth at it while failing to grab its mouth.
Okay. Ryan,
Right, muted. Sorry.
you are currently grappling a zappy tail.
I don't suppose I can try to make another animal handling check.
I will... You may certainly try.
That was a 9, so no.
Okay. Any bonus action or anything you want to do?
Nope. I like how I apparently popped my thing that lets me add radiant damage, and now I'm not doing any damage.
Oh, well.
On the other hand, Thandrin isn't stunned. So
Yeah,
you are providing a valuable service.
I am providing a valuable service.
Yes, Thandrin got to punch things. All right, it is Quincy's turn. I need to create, because I homebrew added Quincy's stats as a creature for the initiative tracker. I need to make a copy just so I can change the name of the type of being that Quincy is to Quincy, so I don't have to do the mental math every time I get to Quincy in the stats. Quincy is going to go through the door that Morley has opened. You open the door, Quincy went right through it.
Okay.
And let's see. Let's make a roll. Fearsome Bark has not renewed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not going to be a Fearsome Bark. But he is going to do a low growl towards the gnome. That would be an intimidation check, most likely. Well, that is Quincy's roll. The gnome is not intimidated by the puppy.
Mm.
All right. Kitty Widget A continues to chirp. The gnome does not chirp.
Aw.
What is this, intruders? You dare impede upon the plans of the one and only Stunky J Knoptopper? The J is for genius, by the way.
Of course, I could tell. So, if you are so smart, show me how this works. I'm fascinated. Like, what button makes these numbers stop?
Certainly. And give me a charisma save.
Charisma save? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me find where that is. Charisma. Okay. Charisma save. I got a 20. Just a 20.
Okay.
It's also plus 6.
So he definitely casts something at you, but nothing happens. Because you made your spell save by a lot.
The nat 20 plus 6, it looks like.
Yes,
You
it
made
was.
it by a lot.
Okay.
That was supposed to look more spectacular. Zuda.
Oh, you've seen Avatar now.
I have seen that. Why, I've seen all the avatars now. Well, except for the movie, because no one needs to see the movie.
Yeah.
And also the other movie,
There
which
is
no
no
one needs to
movie.
see.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Well,
movie
there
you're
is the
talking
remake
about.
of Fern Gully.
That's different Avatar.
Yes.
True.
I haven't seen that one either.
Anyway, I'm going to do the Katara thing. Pop open my water skin, take some water out, and use shape water to splash it in the skitterwidget's face. Enough. Stop it.
You're wasting your time. It's been ordered to attack any intruders.
Have they? And I point to the two at the back.
Actually, yes, they all were. But
I'm going to continue splashing water at the skitterwidget.
that's odd. I didn't think they came that small. Weird.
You mean you didn't build them?
No, I was busy. Skitterwidget A is going to try to get out of the grapple again.
Life finds a way.
Ooh. 5.
It is free!
Did it at least have to use its action to do
Yes.
Good.
that? Good.
Oh, if it's free, then I pick it up and take it to checkout.
Did I already give you inspiration? Because if you don't have inspiration, you got it now. Sorry, this is a 12 item or less thing.
But I have coupons.
These coupons are for Stuff Mart. We're not Stuff Mart. We're Fantasy Costco.
Isn't that another campaign setting?
Might be.
Well, Stuff Mart is from VeggieTales. Fantasy Costco is from the Adventure Zone balance arc. Chris, what's going on is we went off the rails again with a totally out of context conversation. So that is why you don't know what's going on. We just had a non-canon conversation. But Skitterwidget used its action to break free, but that was his action.
Critical recovery is approximately 75% D&D by weight.
That may be a high estimate.
I was going to say, that sounds a little high.
Everyone is very distractible today.
Today. Yes. Thank you for narrowing that down. Well, not to get back on topic, but Morley, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to walk over, if I haven't already got there, to the thing that is probably has buttons and has some sort of numbers counting down, and I want to first look at it to see if I can read any of the buttons.
Okay. Well, there is a big red button.
There's a big red button, and this is all?
Let me double check. See, there is the blinking red button. There is the timer. That's counting down. And there are the wireframe screens that... There's a wireframe that goes around a space, but it's an illusion that fills the space. It's not actually a screen. It's not a monitor. That are showing views of various rooms, including rooms you've been through already.
It's a holoscreen.
It's cycling through, and at one point you see Robin Williams singing a song, but it's weird. Kudos if you got that reference. And it looks like that is all that's going on in here.
Okay. So there's no writing on any of the buttons or anything like that. Just that's
no.
all?
The only possible writing is the timer.
The timer, which I probably can't read. Maybe.
Which you made the roll for. You know it's going down, but you don't know how many minutes or seconds it is.
Okay. All right. So I think maybe I should try to stop this thing somehow, but I'm not sure what to do first. So.
Well, your first attempt was to try to smash the console, and you did some damage.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
There's also a button to press.
I'm afraid that'll launch it. What can I do? What might work? Let's see.
You're wasting your time. There's nothing you can do to stop it now. Soon we will be free of this imprisonment.
How are you imprisoned? You're running around up here searching for things that you do not find. You're doing
Gravity is a prison.
Gravity is a prison. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on the metaphor. I'm workshopping it still. It's not quite there yet.
Clearly, a genius.
Give me some time.
Okay.
I was busy building a rocket.
Ah, so it is a rocket. Fascinating. What does that button do? Just tell me. Don't go near
It starts the countdown.
It starts the countdown?
Yep.
So you started the countdown with this button?
Yep.
Okay.
And now I just need to find my control ring, and then I'm off.
So wait. The things that were throwing sparks and stuff, that's what was going to make you fly, right?
Yep.
Great. Good to know.
Oh. You are in for a surprise, my friend. You are in for a surprise.
Yep, they were still sparking a bit, but they probably cooled down a little bit. Good thing that the ignition's built in for going off as soon as this counter reaches 0.
Okay, that could be a problem.
I have an idea.
Okay.
By the way, FYI, we're still in initiative. We're waiting for Morley to take an action.
I know, because I don't know what to do.
Isn't Morley also not in the same room as us?
Right.
Technically, yes, but
I thought
Morley's
the gnome
walked
came
through the
in
door.
here.
I thought the gnome was like coming in and out of the door as well. But
No.
I didn't
No,
understand.
I thought Morley and the
you
gnome
were
came
in the
in here.
doorway, so you had line of sight to the gnome, which is how he was able to cast a spell at you.
Okay.
But the open doorway is not soundproof, so everyone's hearing everything.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see what I can do here. Okay.
Good advice. Maybe attack the gnome.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how. I guess I'm going to hit him with an Eldritch Blast. That's probably going to work.
Okay.
12 plus 6 for an 18.
Yes.
Cool. Here we go.
The gnome is not a skitterwidget.
No. 10 damage.
That will hurt.
Okay, I can do it again. I'm going to tell him.
I'd rather you didn't.
Yes, well, tell me how to turn off this countdown, or I
You
will.
can't from here, I told you. You gotta
You
be in
can't
the
from
rocket
here.
to turn it off. Oh, part of my clever plan that was written by somebody else who didn't like the letter C. Whatever.
I'm throwing another Eldritch Blast at him.
Whatever
I
you
think
can
I've
do to make him
missed.
stop talking.
Yes, I have a 9.
Okay, so that is your turn.
Okay.
Next up, Thandrin, you are in front of a no longer grappled skitterwidget. That's a 23 to hit.
25 for the second.
That's 2 hits.
Variable.
That's 15 points of damage so far. That appears to be more
5 and a
hits
23.
for 20 more points of damage. That's it. Take out
It
all
should've
your
sat.
frustration. It's part of the healing
should've
process. What's that?
It should have sat.
As Thandrin's punching, he's just screaming, I just wanted to read a book!
Okay, yeah, that's an inspiration. He was gonna have such a good... This is Hudson Hawk and his coffee, Thandrin and his book.
Man, somebody else who's watched that movie.
It's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie, but nobody likes it.
Now, granted, it's been a few decades since I saw it, but at the time I saw it, I liked it. Anyway, this skitterwidget is now bloody, or oily, or it's falling apart.
Dented.
Severely dented.
Dented.
Dented by
assuming there's no
Thandrin's
ch-
fists.
I'm assuming there's no changes to its resistances or all that because of extract aspect. I'm assuming there's no
No,
changes to that.
they are slightly different cosmetically, but functionally all skitterwidgets are the same.
Okay.
All right. So, Burp.
Burp is going to... is talking a free action. Point out the way we came and say, if room gets filled with fire, other baby gets hurt. And would like to
Okay.
hold the rest of her action.
All right. I will keep that in mind. It's not the skitterwidget's turn, so you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Yeah, besides, Thandrin is beating it to death.
Yep.
Thandrin is one natural 20 away from beating it to death with his own skull.
Poor thing.
You might think
extremely frustrated, so yes, Thandrin is definitely up for that.
you might think that's physically impossible, which is what his victim will scream as it happens. Ryan, it is your turn.
I would like to try to grab its tail again and drag.
I love this. Give me a roll.
14.
Nat 20.
Trap.
Any bonus action?
I will refrain from trying to leave to go blow up the thingies.
Okay, so you are for your bonus action, you are choosing to not do a thing.
Yes. For my bonus action and my movement, I am not using my bonus action or my movement.
That's one way to do
I
it.
love this game so much. And it's Quincy's turn. Quincy, you know what? I need to click on Quincy's character because Quincy does not have a tail attack. Okay, technically, Quincy's a doggo. Doggos do have a tail attack, but it doesn't really do damage. You have to save versus fur or go... It's not quite the same thing.
I don't know. Well, it depends on what kind of dog Quincy is. Like an Irish wolfhound has a tail attack.
Quincy's a mutt. A larger doggo, but a mutt. And Fearsome Bark does not recharge. I love that Fearsome Bark has the same recharge rules that breath weapons have. Mm-hmm. I adore this. Quincy's going to go in for a bite against the gnome. That's a nat 1. Ha-ha! There's no stopping me!
No.
The gnome nimbly dodges out of the way. And by nimbly, I mean he almost falls over in the process. But he tries to make it look like it was intentional. Which... performance check? No. No, it doesn't look intentional. He tries to make it look intentional. Alright, and I'm skipping over the characters that are basically just hanging around being defensive. It is now Stonky's turn. The gnome. And I don't know what... oh, these are the dog pictures.
Yeah.
It's animate mop.
I was just thinking of that.
Someone let a
It's
sheepdog
It's adorable.
get dreadlocks.
Well, it's been fun talking to you, but your usefulness is over. And Stonky casts a spell through the door.
Through the door?
Well, the door is open. You didn't say you closed it.
Okay, right. I didn't close the door. I went over to the countdown thing.
Yes.
I did not close the door.
So you and Quincy do not need to make saving throws.
Jen, remember you have counterspell.
I'm going to use counterspell. I forgot.
Okay.
I'm going to
Make
use
a roll.
counterspell. Yes. Let me click it on the character sheet.
What are the rules for counterspell specifically? Because I
I'm
know
trying to-
there's a point where it just automatically works.
The rules for counterspell, depending on what level Jen casts it at, which I think
Fourth
what's the
level.
highest, it'll automatically 4th level. If the spell that the NPC is casting is 4th level or is 5th level or higher, Jen has to make a roll to beat the DC.
You don't need to
If
make
it's
a roll.
below,
It just fizzles.
It's just gone. Yeah.
The spell is gone. So the gnome tries to cast a spell through the door. You counterspell it. You know,
Gone.
you're being a real thorn in my side.
Well, you can help me go away if you tell me how to turn off this machine and exactly where we need to go.
Or we could leave the machine on, and I'll go away. How about that?
No, I don't think that's a good idea either. It's
Okay.
not actually my turn, so I can't do much else.
That's how Stonky feels every time he's responding to any of you when it's not his turn. Zuda, however, it is your turn.
Zuda is going to move back to the rocket engine room to try and collect that other kitty widget.
Okay, let me look at the map.
And if I need to, I'll double move this turn and then...
Okay. Yes, you will need a double move, because that was a long hallway.
Okay, then I'll double move to get to the engine room.
You almost make it all the way to the engine room.
Okay.
The party had to choose to go through the door furthest from the engine.
Yep.
That's valid.
Player characters. Yep.
Oh, can I, if I double move, can I do a bonus action as well?
Yeah, it's only using up your action to double move.
Okay, then before I double move, I am gonna healing word at Thandrin.
Okay.
I'm literally 3 health down, that's it.
Oh, then I'm gonna healing word at Ryan.
Okay.
And that's seven healing done.
Thank you. I believe I now have more hit points than I did when I entered this combat.
Well, you didn't get... I didn't allow you to have the opportunity for a long rest
Yeah.
between last session and this session. And you had 2 combats then. So skitterwidget A is going to turn on Rhine because someone keeps trying to grab its tail, and it didn't like that.
So I'm glad I cast healing word.
Well, also Rhine's AC is yes, so that 10 does nothing, and neither does that 12.
Hold on, let me just very quickly, because I might be able to use my reaction to punch it. Sentinel makes an attack again, so it doesn't have to hit. I will use Sentinel reaction to punch it.
Now, it made an attack, but not against you. Does that matter?
That's the whole point of Sentinel. It's an attack against a creature. Let me read it.
Attack against an ally?
Yeah, when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction to make a melee attack against the creature. So, Sentinel reaction, punch. That one.
No.
Your fist falls off.
Wait, I have inspiration. I'm using my inspiration. 22!
A 22 does a lot better than a nat 1.
Oh my.
That's the one on the damage dice, though.
5 points of damage. Well, it's bloody because of you.
It was bloody because of the 35 points of damage I did to last round.
Still because of you.
Like
Okay.
I said, frustration is being taken out.
Morley,
Does Burp get a turn?
Oh.
Burp
I
will
thought I
get
was
a
going with
turn.
Thandrin.
You do after Thandrin's turn, but Thandrin just used a reaction.
Oh. Okay.
Ah, duh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was a little confused too. Okay.
Imagine that Thandrin is a dragon and just used a legendary action to attack during a turn that wasn't his.
I do love Sentinel, it's really fun. I got to do extra punching.
Okay, so
It's cool monk stuff.
would I be aware that Zuda has gone running off somewhere?
You can't see Zuda through the doorway, but you have limited field of vision.
Okay.
You almost certainly would have heard me running.
Yeah, I
past
would have
you.
heard someone run, so I'm going to... Like, would that be enough for me to figure out that you're going to do something with the rocket somewhere?
Um,
Or is this just a hope?
that could be just a hope.
I
Okay.
really need.
I don't know what they're doing. Hmm?
I really am not thingy.
Okay.
I need to AFK at some point soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to do it now. It's not my turn.
From the looks of things, we're going to be ending very soon. All right. So we are on Morley's turn.
Yes.
You have an angry gnome that has already tried to cast 2 spells to do bad things to you and or your friends.
Right. He's already kind of told me where to stop the thing, so I'm just going to cast Eldritch Blast again.
All right.
That's 16.
A 16 will hit.
Okay, damage is... looks like 5.
All right.
Okay. He's
Would you
still
like
standing?
to go again?
Yes. That's a 20. 14 plus 6, 20.
Okay.
And the damage is... I can't see it. Oh, whoa. That
10
can't
points
be
of
right.
damage.
Oh, no, it's 10. Okay, sorry, I got my numbers mixed up. 10.
Quite all right.
Yes.
He's not bloodied, but he's not looking good.
All right.
Well, he didn't look good before.
Yes, well...
You don't want to judge by appearance, but, you know.
I'm judging by his personality, not just the patterns.
It's not that you're ugly on the outside, it's that you're ugly on the inside and the outside. Thandrin, it is your turn.
Sandra will continue with the punching. Natural 19.
All right.
Just got to see if this kills it or not. 7 damage.
Nope.
Second one, 18.
An 18 is exactly what you needed.
10 damage.
All right.
Okay.
It's still moving.
Flurry of blows. 24.
Yeah, that'll hit.
9 damage.
Okay.
Still moving.
Yes.
Natural 20.
I think this might be it.
14 points of damage.
That's double how much it had left. How do you do this?
Wow.
It just each punch just goes into the creature, and then the last one, it's just kind of uppercut and the head comes off.
It's Rock'em Sock'em Skitterwidget.
Pretty much.
The head of the Skitterwidget goes through the door and rolls across the ground to stop at the gnome's feet.
and then he just shouts, "Next time we come to a library, just let me read an iron-bound book." And then he just walks towards the gnome.
Okay. You moving to go through the door, and you see
Yep.
everything that Morley's been seeing.
Yes.
Burp.
Burp would like to also go through the door, possibly at a fairly quick rate, to try to put the gnome in a headlock, cover the gnome, hopefully covering the gnome's mouth, and is, if hopefully going to succeed in this, going to do another thing, which is probably a free action.
Okay. Well, because somebody did a thing, and that somebody being Chris, that the DM was too lazy to do, and that thing was look up the actual grappling rules.
I knew the
Athletics?
rules. I just knew them off the top of my head.
Oh.
I should roll
Because
athletics.
somebody knew the rules, unlike me. Yeah, so make an athletics check.
Even better.
I'm proficient in those. I have a +5 to athletics. I should have been.
No one asked. So I just thought I'd throw it at you.
I asked if I should roll athletics.
You like that was when I was down
I
here.
made an on-the-fly decision, which was against the rules. Well, I'm allowed to do that because that's the first rule, but I went contrary to the rules as written. Now that somebody has offered the rules as written, because I was too lazy to look them up, we're going by that. But that is totally my fault.
Oh yeah, I'm not actually upset.
No, I think I was
Holy
downstairs
crap.
when they asked.
Stonky gets a nat 20 versus the grapple.
Oh!
I used a reaction to assess.
Considering how long we've been playing, I will say sure, you are allowed to do that.
Roll with advantage. Roll again. Try and get that 20.
Okay.
What you need. Unless the number's higher.
Imagine, if you will, you're trying to capture a greased pig.
Yep.
Mildly I will not use the inspiration yet. The odds are not in my favor.
No, not if you need a nat 20. Okay, so
Yeah.
no, you have not managed to grapple the gnome. Rhine.
There will probably still be a certain amount of yelling about turn off the thing or else.
Are
I
we
will
grappling
probably
the
just
gnome?
punch the gnome.
The attempt has been
Grappling the
made.
gnome a thing that's happening? Alright, I'm going to pick him up.
Okay.
By his collar, possibly.
19 plus 5, 24.
Okay, but let me roll against that. Would you accept a 16?
If we get another...
No.
Okay. So, yeah. Burp does her best with Thandrin, like, trying to block off escape routes for the gnome.
Obviously, we herded the gnome into Rye.
Yes.
Rain's holding
picks
the
up.
gnome. Rain's holding the gnome. Are we out of initiative now?
I don't
Technically,
know.
we're still in initiative, but we will be wrapping up very soon, probably, looking at what's happening right now. So, basically, Stonky does this little slip out of your grip maneuver that is half accidental, half on purpose, but then backs into a glittery wall.
And where do you think you're going?
And the glittery wall picks him up by his shirt collar with one arm.
Good. More fun. Extort truth.
Whoa.
Whack!
I punch the gnome repeatedly until he tells us the truth.
I feel like I have moral objections to this
I
interrogation
feel like
tactic.
Thandrin is not listening to you.
I've been listening to this gnome for quite a while. I assure you, it's
At
warranted.
this point, Thandrin is just like red mist.
Stop punching him. Stop punching him.
To be fair, when Thandrin opts to use this ability, it means the
There are
attack
no
does no
damage.
damage.
Yes, the attack, the attack either deals damage or
Because-
deals no damage. I can
because
choose.
Because otherwise, I assure you, this gnome would be killed.
Okay.
I assure you, yes, he would.
You're just slapping the gnome around.
So I am just pummeling the gnome until he tells us what we want.
The gnome is not bloodied. However, Thandrin has done more damage in one turn today than the gnome has left. All right. So, what questions are you asking?
How do we turn it off? How do we get it? How do we stop all of this?
I told you can't turn off here. You got to go upstairs.
And do what?
Okay, well, we know he's
pull a
telling the
lever.
truth.
Which lever?
Pull a lever.
I'm going to start flipping through the book that has the diagrams in it to see if I can figure out what he's talking about, because I still have the book.
I never
Which
remember.
page-
I
which-
had to write it down.
Which page is it on in the book?
I didn't tell you a page number, but it's bookmarked.
Oh, the bookmark page. Okay, I go right to that one, and what do I see? Everything we
You
need?
see
or
a
no?
lot of diagrams.
Oh, okay.
However,
Looks like a
Stonky
lever.
has told you he had to write down which levers to pull.
Is it noted in the book?
He was motioning towards a piece of paper that's on the console.
I pick it up.
Okay. It says coop,
And I knock him
abort,
out.
shed, delay, stable, blast off.
Say that again. There we go.
Yes. So it has the word coop and then a dash and then it says abort. Then it has shed, then it has a dash and it says delay, and stable, and it has a dash and it says blast off.
Okay, we need to find the lever, and
Upstairs, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's where we're going to
Knock him
end
out.
it for tonight, though.
I'm sorry, I didn't
We're
hear
in
that.
for almost 2 hours.
Can we end on the knockout?
We end on the knockout and saying, let's go upstairs.
Okay, sounds good.
And right then, Zuda comes back holding the other skitter widget going, hey guys, what? Oh.
You took its head off. You took its head off.
Bandrin is just drenched in sweat. He is just so angry right now.
I can't fix it if you take its head off.
Pictured
Good.
here is Zuda.
Oh no!
All right, so that is where we're ending it. Thank you, everyone, for playing. This has been fun. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Tonight I was joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Chris, Ellie, Io, and Jen. Who wants to plug something?
Yes, Mom
I've
writes
been
books.
known to write books. Yeah, Eo's mom writes books. At Elizabeth
My mom, who now plays this game and can plug her own books.
Well, yeah, but you know, Elizabeth-McCoy.com.
Eo's mum writes books has been a running thing for so long. It's not going to
has.
change even with Eo's mum being here.
We have
Right.
said this even when Io wasn't part of the session.
Yes,
Yes.
because Eo's mum writes books, goddammit.
That needs to be a domain. See if that's available.
Anyway, I need to AFK right now and will do. So sorry.
All right, be well. This was fun. But what if I wanted to listen to a gaming podcast?
don't want to listen to mine. It's an absolute mess.
Oh no.
Azeroth Coast to Coast, we talk about all the things video game related and nerd related and B&B and all the things. AzerothCTC.com.
Okay, but what if I wanted to narrow down my scope to just Diablo?
Well, then you need to listen to Shattered Soulstone at shatteredsoulstone.com. It's focused on all of the Diablo games and books and lore and stuff created by the Diablo community. And a new episode appears every Saturday. That's at shatteredsoulstone.com. If you want more gaming stuff related to Diablo, you can go to bookofgen.net, where there's a whole bunch of videos and blogs about different parts of the games and the lore and stuff like that. And also a ton of unrelated video games and other unrelated stuff. That's at bookofgen.net. If you just want to watch the gameplay videos, you can go to YouTube at bookofgen, and you'll find all of the Diablo videos that I've posted and a couple other things there, too.
Fantastic. Now, I've seen you post about this on your Mastodon account as well, but if I was interested in getting into Mastodon and figuring out what the heck it is, and I wanted to see some type of guide that at one point had been brief...
I'll let you plug that one.
I actually have totally forgotten the domain name for that.
It's guidetomastodon.com.
There you go. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. You can help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Cindy, Ellie, Eric, Janatalock, Mickey, Shanshan, and Walter. I feel like I've skipped something. Is
You
it
haven't
because...
done the tagline where you do something spooky and enigmatic.
No, that comes after this part. I know what's going on. It's because EO's mom plugged EO's mom instead of EO plugging EO's mom.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Like, but EO didn't plug anything. Oh, they already did. Sort of. So, until next time, this is Crash saying, I thought I was helping. Maybe I should have done something about the skitterwidgets. Nah, I'm sure he was fine. Good night, everybody.